Hi everybody, I'm Morty, and this is Devlog number 1 for Tinkerer. Tinkerer is an upcoming video game heavily inspired by Factorio and Zachtronics' Opus Magnum. In other words, you will solve puzzles, create factories, and kill enemies. And here this is the developer interface for in Godot, but let's give the actual gameplay a look. So that's where I'm at right now. What you just saw is basically all Alpha 1 footage. So all the art, all the UI and menus and so on, it's all placeholder. Nothing that you're seeing right now is going to be in the final product, hopefully. But all the coding, all the gameplay features are all there. So what you just saw in the little clip was me, this guy here, dying to a bunch of chickens. Chickens is the only enemy that exists right now. It's just a placeholder, but it's funny. So I died to a bunch of chickens because my gun was shooting very slowly. So then I went into the gun. I tinkered with the gun, and once inside the gun, that's where you have the programming interface, the Opus Magnum Space Game side of the game, where I came up with a better solution that was faster. So once I saved that and went back outside, I was able to shoot much faster and kill all the damn chickens. So I played way too many hours of Factorio, probably not as many as some of the actual hardcore players. The one thing that I never quite liked about Factorio is that the assembler machines, the factories, are kind of magical in the sense that in order to, for example, to build one red science, which is like a flask containing a red liquid, what you need to do is to give it a copper plate and an iron gear. And in my mind, that makes no sense, right? So like a green science is a transporter belt and an inserter yellow hand. And like, how does a copper plate and an iron gear become a flask of red liquid? So that's the bit I don't like. And that's the part where Opus Magnum and Space Game and other Zachtronics games really shine for me, where you're actually building the thing. That the puzzle asks you to create a specific molecule, and you have the specific atoms that you need to bond and create the molecule, right? So if it's, I don't know, one metal and one whatever, and you have to bond them in such and such shape, you have to program that. You have to create a machine that makes the actual thing. There's no magic. There's no copper plate that suddenly appears and solves everything. But the part that I never quite liked about the Zachtronics games in general is that you can spend hours upon hours trying to improve your solution, your puzzle, to make it more efficient or smaller or faster or whatever, and you get nothing out of it other than being placed in a better spot in the scoreboard, which isn't quite a scoreboard. In the Zachtronics games, you always have like a small distribution graph where you can see in a bell graph where your solution ends up. You're like mediocre right in the middle, or if you're really fast on the left, or really slow on the right, or if it's really expensive and whatever. So you can spend hours and hours working on your solution, and you just get yourself like a better place in the graph, or you tie with like the mathematically optimal solution, and that's it. And there is no outside world. There is nothing. You just move on to the next puzzle, and that's fine. And the games are great, and I obviously love them because there's a reason I'm here, right? But what I'm trying to do here is to like marry the best of both worlds. I want machines that actually build the molecule or the thing that you're making. You actually need to make it atom by atom, and I want the solutions that you come up with to affect the outside world. If you make a gun that shoots faster, then it should shoot faster. If you make a jetpack that is more efficient with the fuel, then you should be able to fly farther, and so on and so forth. Like if you put a tower that defends your base, then it should shoot faster, or your machine should produce less pollution because it's more efficient. And that's what I'm trying to achieve here. There are going to be smaller levels. I want there to be some sort of exploring, like here in this world. You can jump over here, and there are hills, and there are resources that are hidden, and there's stuff like there's a cave under here with stuff in a chest. And I want there to be some platforming, some exploration to some degree. I like the levels to be smaller so that I can also borrow some gameplay cues and elements from tower defense games. I love Bloons Tower Defense 6 and other tower defense games across the years, but lately that has been one of the main ones. And as aesthetics wise, you can see that I'm trying to marry together some 3D elements with 2D sprites. So like the chicken over here is a 2D sprite that billboards, so it's always facing the front. But the rest of the game is actually 3D. So that's borrowed kind of from Cassette Beasts, which is another fantastic game made in Godot, the engine I'm using. So that's enough for today. This is Devlog number 1. I'm aiming to have one of these up every week. So please subscribe if this is interesting to you at all, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.